Good afternoon, Packers fans. Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. It is Friday. Hope you're all set to have a great weekend wherever you are, whoever you're with. If you're in the Florida area, I hope you're staying safe. Godspeed to everybody down there. Hopefully it'll be passed in time for Sunday's kickoff against the Minnesota Vikings at noon Lambeau time. The Packers releasing their final injury report, and a bit disconcerting to see Jair Alexander with a designation listed as questionable. You absolutely hate to see that, especially when it's in conjunction with Carrington Valentine being listed as doubtful. Being depleted in the secondary while about to face Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, who will play on Sunday, just doesn't feel great. It doesn't give you the warm fuzzies. Now, obviously, this means that they got to get after it up front, put pressure on the quarterback, hopefully let those safeties eat back in those zones that they'll undoubtedly be in. The only other notable moment on the injury report, of course, is Jordan Love listed as questionable after being limited in practice all week. Jordan Morgan is out for Sunday's game. Sean Ryan will get the entire game to himself there at right guard. And like I said, health pretty favorable for the Vikings heading into this one. But, you know, they're at Lambeau. They've got a game plan. Can't wait to see what Matt LaFleur cooks up. And I understand the Vikings have looked formidable these first 3 weeks, no question about it. But we've talked about it all week. They have played with a lead almost the entire season. Let's see what happens if the Packers can get on the front foot right out the gate. Hello to everybody in the comments. So good to see everybody. Before we get going, you guys know I got to give a shout out to our good new friends over there at Prize Picks. Prize Picks is daily fantasy sports made easy. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Go to prizepicks.com and use code CHTV. Spend $5 on lineups and get $50 instantly. You can join in the fun at the link in the description of this video. Do it, folks. I'll be trotting out my first lineup on Sunday morning prior to the game, so hope you'll join us on Watch Party, getting ready for those infiltration of the Vikings and their fans. Pretty sure there's going to be a lot of purple in the stands, and I'm trying to wrap my head around it now so I don't get all upset about it on Sunday and blame the gold package, because I know it's very much across gold and green packages seeing these division rivals come in. Although I will say, gold package, getting all 3 division games this year, got a lot to live up to. Her life is in your hands. He asked me to repeat that. Her life is in your hands, dude. That's all I'm saying. I know somebody out there knows that quote. How we doing, folks? What do we got here? We got folks lining up to chat. You love to see it. Starting with Ed. What's going on, man? Not asking for much, just total domination on both sides of the ball. You see, you're a reasonable man, Ed. I get it. You know, you don't want to overstep, but you want what you want. You're a man of needs. I understand. H. Carrington, how are you, man? How would you grade Matt LaFleur's gamesmanship improvement since Week 17 last year when he apologized for misleading everyone on Watts' chances of playing? That's well remembered. I love what he's doing at the podium, keeping people guessing, not tipping his hand in any real way. I mean, he's following the rules. There is no rule that tells him that he has to provide more information than he's provided. I'm fine with it. I'm totally fine with it. He has been absolutely kind of steadfast in letting everyone know that Jordan Love has been limited, and knowing that everyone just wants some kind of hint or sense of whether Jordan will go. Matt's done what he needs to do to keep the Vikings guessing, which is obviously the most important aspect here. Kevin O'Connell said at the start of the week they were going to be preparing for both quarterbacks as it is. Matt just making sure they have to keep that up all week long. I got no issues with it at all. Seth, thank you for the super sticker /chat. Appreciate you, man. What else we got here, folks? Watched Gruden's vid on the game. He's picking the Vikings 23-20. I mean, I don't think that's out of bounds. I mean, hopefully, obviously, I'm thinking the other way, but I totally understand why someone would pick the Vikings coming into this contest, especially with the Packers banged up in their secondary. But I do think, again, if the Packers can take the ball and score, get on the front foot in this game and control the football, and stay ahead of the stick. So in a way that the Vikings haven't really had to deal with this season, they've got a path to victory there. It's not some kind of juggernaut's going to come in there and whoop the Packers' ass. Of that, I'm pretty confident. Where's our Matt LaFleur limited T-shirt? I mean, hopefully this is all in the past and forgotten about in a couple weeks. I know it's a thing in the moment where he comes up to the microphone every day and talks about guys being limited and Jordan in particular. But hopefully we're in late October and all of this is somewhat forgotten. That is that's what we're hoping for anyway. IROC says the Vikings aren't scoring 20 points on this Packers D. All right, man, I like your enthusiasm, but it isn't like the Packers have really completely shut teams down on defense. They got after it last week, no question about it. But it's not like they've been terribly stingy when it comes to yardage. The Vikings certainly have a cornucopia of talent at their disposal. Not saying the Packers defense can't do the job, right? I think they can play winning football, no question about it. But man, this is going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough game. The Vikings are no joke. Absolutely. Jocelyn, thanks for the super chat. We'll always love 33, but did he reject Green Bay's pay cut just to take a similar offer from Minnesota? Was that what the reports in March indicated? A lot of smoke there with the sun fire. I mean, we'll never really know. I think, if I remember right, Aaron himself has been in some Twitter conversations indicating that that's not what happened. But I do know, from what has been reported that they certainly asked him to take a pay cut. He wasn't amiable to it. And the Vikings offered what appears to be just a little bit more than what he could have gotten in Green Bay. Now, some of it is guarantees and things of that nature, but it's not like he got exponentially more than what the Packers probably would have ended up handing him. But I do think having taken a pay cut the year before, he was not about that life, taking a pay cut 2 years in a row, especially considering how important he had been to the Packers offense down the stretch last season. I mean, you guys remember they came to life once Jones got back there and the running game came alive and he was ripping off 100-yard games each and every week for like 6-7 weeks straight. I mean, I understand his misgivings at taking a second pay cut from a team that he helped save on offense last year. Joey, what's up, man? People forget Jair didn't play last year at Minnesota. Now, this is true. However, they were like starting, kindergartners at quarterback. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. It's not like the Vikings were ever threatening in that game on offense because of the quarterback position. Yes, Jair did not play. You are correct. But it was a much easier task than what they'll be facing Sunday with Darnold, Aaron Jones, the whole crew there on offense. That's a little different world. Ryback, what's going on, man? Nags, you think the defense can get after the QB again? 97 and 52 have got to get going here. I've said all week this is Kenny's get-right game. I do think Rashawn's been creating pressures. You'd like to see more, obviously, but I don't want to sound any alarm bells with Rashawn. I think he's playing his ass off, and I think sacks will come. With Kenny, I think this is his get-right game. Bradbury's been the guy he has tormented his entire career. Hasn't mattered where they've been, whether in Green Bay or Minnesota. Bradbury's dealing with an ankle injury, though he will play. And I think this is a game that Kenny gets right. I think we're going to see the kind of starting of Kenny Clark rounding into shape, so to speak, and getting after the quarterback, collapsing the pocket, making life miserable for Darnold. That is what I suspect. How do you think the penalties will affect this weekend? I mean, the Vikes don't need help. Corey, it's a very real concern. Now, that's something that is in your control, right? As a player, as a guy who's out there, the holding calls have got to stop. That is 100% technique driven. And the main culprit has been Rasheed Walker, though he hasn't been alone. And the pre-snap stuff, the illegal formation stuff, that has got to get eliminated. especially on these plays that end up being explosive plays. They get called back. And now instead of an explosive play, you're literally 5 or 10 yards back from where you started the snap of the ball. It is just not a way to live. And there has been way too much of it through 3 games in Green Bay. No doubt about it. Amar, thanks for becoming a Carry the G Club member, man. Appreciate you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Christopher, thanks for the super chat. Love Happily defense. Cut the leash. He said, go hunt. He most certainly did in the second half last week. I don't know if it's going to be like that right out of the gate on Sunday against the Vikings, but he certainly doesn't appear timid when it comes to, okay, now it's time to ramp up the pressure. Now, he got after it with Jalen Hurts a couple times in week 1, but Hurts did a really good job at the line of scrimmage, adjusting the play, recognizing it pre-snap, and getting into something that, allowed him to get the ball out of his hands quickly. Will Sam Darnold have that same ability? Will he have that same wherewithal? Will O'Connell have the same kind of outlets for him, the same answers against pressure? That is one thing I am fascinated to see because, obviously every team has a blitz package, a pressure package, what have you. But to my eyes, it doesn't look like, whether it's been the Texans or the 49ers these last couple games, it doesn't look like they've really kind of released the hounds. And I understand it because, the Texans are able to get pressure without heavy numbers. And hell, if you're the 49ers, you got Bosa. So you're not really kind of putting your pedal down, but maybe Halfley does, especially at home where maybe there's some communication issues at the line of scrimmage. Hopefully that gold package is nice and loud. You heard me, gold package. That's on you. Make it loud in there. Get loud, Lambeau. Matthew, thanks for the super chat. We always had to lose one to finish 16-1, Nags. The Vikings are just another notch on the bedpost. Go Pack, go. Also, Chelsea will stuff Brighton tomorrow. I hope so, man. I'm ready to sit on my sofa, my brand new huge sectional over there, and just relax and lose myself watching Chelsea play at, I believe it's 10 a.m. Eastern. I mean, talk about a perfect morning. Make my coffee, say hi to my girls, let them go about their day, and I'm just going to veg and watch Chelsea tomorrow on the sofa. Cannot wait. Joe, what's up, man? Would not having Jair / Valentine be worse than not having Love? I mean, you've certainly seen they have a way of winning and working without Jordan Love. But as someone pointed out, they certainly seem to have a way of working and winning without Jair last year. I mean, it's not ideal. It's not optimal. You certainly want Jair out there. But it is next man up. And to quote Matt LaFleur, no one cares around the league. Obviously, fans care, the team cares, but everyone outside that building and outside the sphere of Packers fandom, no one cares. It's your job as a coach, your job as a team to come up with a plan that works with the guys you got. We'll see if they can do it. Rick Harris, thanks for the super chat. Is it true Carry the G is brewed with Vikings tears? It's interesting. I believe that was added this offseason. I think that's a brand new kind of tinge to what was already an amazing concoction. And, it just reminds me that sometimes you got to remember where it comes from.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so creamy and cold, and from the land of the green and gold.
Hope that was enough of a heads up on the faders there. I ain't never going to turn that down. If it's too loud, you're too old. That's all I can think of. Amar, thanks, brother. Been a while since I did SC and got my boy a beer. Oh, brother, thank you, sir. I enjoy seeing 10 play, and seeing 2 out there would be still fun because he's so much fun to watch, too. I would love Ja out there, but in Halfley I trust. Let's go. Go, Pack, go. Look at you with a positive attitude. I mean, I half expect you to have a follow-up here where you rip on Josh Myers. But, hey, look at you being positive. I like it, Amar. I like the attitude. Keep it up. Mike Witt, what's going on, man? This is a different situation than when number 4 put on the purple. Number 33 was always a class act, and I will always cheer for him, other than when we play him. That's it. Fair enough. I understand. Ed, thanks for the super chat. You say front foot. Mr. James Brown says good foot. Either way, it goes against nature to see a happy Vikings fan at Lambeau. Yeah, and we've seen a few too many of them throughout the last decade. Man, too many games where they've come in and been able to sit there after the game and enjoy the atmosphere after a win. Man, enough of that. Gotta send them home crying this week. Absolutely. Eddie, thanks for the super chat. I'm limited. Eddie, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully you're good to go by Sunday because we're going to need you, buddy. Going to need all hands on deck. Needs to happen. Do you prefer Hafley's defense over Pettin's so far? Oh, that's an interesting question. I know it's always kind of going to be compared to his predecessor in Joe Barry, but Pettin's defense. It is a small sample size, but yeah, so far I'm really enjoying what he's done and what he's brought to the mix. It is interesting to see how some of the similarities between the pressure packages, both of them, obviously, I mean, Pettin was Rex Ryan's right-hand man, basically following him and throughout his career until he started kind of taking over his own shop and then being his own coordinator, etc. But, he came out of that vein of defense. And a lot of what Hafley does is from that tree, pressure-wise. Like a lot of zone blitz stuff, a lot of like crazy Rex Ryan, multiple exotic stuff. They're somewhat similar. Now, they're pretty different as far as like early downs. But yeah, as far as a preference, yeah, it's just super early. It sure does seem like uh, Hafley is a bit more amiable to adjusting sooner rather than later if someone's able to take advantage of him on the ground. Pettin never really concerned himself with it, seemed to just completely acquiesce to the idea of like, they're going to run the ball and I don't care. And I haven't really seen that kind of attitude from Hafley yet, but it has only been 3 games. If it's a defensive game, we have a great punter. David, that is a big key, man. I totally agree. I think the way he has really kind of hit the ground running, so to speak, or punting, as it were, these first 3 games has really shown up in some of kind of the defensive performance, making sure that this opponent has to drive the length of the field rather than, oh, here's a miss hit 20-yarder, and now they've only got like 30 yards until they are basically in the red zone. It's been a lot of big booming punts and or directional coffin corner style punts that have led to really long fields for the opponent offense to traverse. It's really hard in the NFL. Hard to put together a 10-play drive without penalties, without miscues. So, yeah, he is certainly a weapon. He is certainly so far through the first month of the season so far, etc., contributing, no doubt about it. If Love is not available, you really think Malik will be able to handle the Vikings defense? Andrea, yes, if they're able to run the ball. And so far, I have seen nothing to tell me that they can't. These last 2 games, the entire building has known the Packers want to run the football. The Packers have been able to run the football. And I know the Vikings will play their 5-man line and basically beg the Packers to throw it if it is Malik Willis at quarterback. They may even do that if Jordan Love is the quarterback. But I do think the Packers have shown through these last couple games that they can run the ball. And if they can, they're going to stay ahead of the sticks and they're going to keep it not simple because nothing's simple in the NFL, but simplified for Willis against some of these exotic looks. And the Vikings won't be able to get into as many of these exotic things that Flores loves to throw at quarterbacks because it's a lot easier to do that when it's 3rd and 9 or 3rd and 12. It's a lot tougher to do it when it's 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 3. So staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks has never been more important than this week. And regardless of who the quarterback is, that is paramount on Sunday. Rabbit says, everyone is talking about the QBs, but I'm confident we can control the line of scrimmage. I'm glad you brought that up. I am very confident in the defensive front's ability to get after the offensive line for the Vikings. I am less confident on the flip side when it comes to the Packers offensive line being able to move and get space for Jacobs and company to get going in the run game and protect the quarterback on some of these exotics. That's where I think the real kind of question mark is. I don't doubt for a moment that they are going to do everything in their power to stay ahead of the sticks, like we've just been talking about. But man, that Vikings front has been really good and solid as hell. And that's where I think the big question mark is. Now, again, and I know I'm a broken record, but it remains true. That defensive front has been playing against teams that have been behind and been behind early in a lot of these games. The whole thing changes on its head if the Packers are able to control the football and then keep that front guessing. That's where I think they could really kind of take advantage. But again, got to get on that front foot. Like this. Seth on Facebook. Just play love. He's ready. Hashtag go pack go. Oh, hold on a second. Just 1 second. Hey. Yeah, Doc McKenzie. It's Aaron Nagler. Yep. Seth on Facebook says just play love. He's ready. I know. No, he doesn't even have the medical information. I'm just passing on the message. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. All right, man. Jordan Love playing on Sunday. Seth said so. Let's go. Seth said he's ready. I don't know if it was stated, but practice report had Jair Alexander did not participate. Not sure how significant, but definitely interesting on a Friday to did not participate. Yes, we talked about it at the start of the stream. He is listed as questionable along with Jordan Love, and Carrington Valentine is doubtful, and Jordan Morgan is out. So yes, no, concerning to see Jair Alexander not go at practice today and to be listed as questionable. Not a question. Aaron Picard, Josh Myers done messed up. The standard is the standard. You're not lying, man. He is. That's the old coaching joke, right? Once you do it and you've done it consistently for a game, now 2, well, now you screwed up because now that's what's going to be expected week in and week out, down in and down out. We want that high-level, consistent play from Josh Myers each and every week. I don't know, man. We'll see if he's up to the task starting on Sunday. All right, everybody. I'm going to have to get going. I cannot thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Please do me a monster favor. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Sunday. Go Pack, go.